In the peaceful village of Alanso, no maiden was admired more than Nenye. She was beautiful, intelligent, and carried herself with a confidence that made many young men nervous whenever she passed. But Nenye had one weakness. She loved wealth. Not ordinary wealth. She dreamed of gold jewelry, expensive wrappers, servants, and a mansion that would make the women of neighboring villages stare in envy. Yet there was another burden she carried in silence. Years earlier, she had given birth to a little boy outside marriage. The child's father had disappeared, leaving Nenye to endure years of whispers and mockery from the women of Alanso. She named him Azunna. Every evening, when Azunna asked, "Mama, where is my father?" her heart broke a little more. Her mother, Ugweze, often warned her, "Mom, a good name is better than riches. Character is wealth." But Nenye would only sigh, "Mama, I am tired of suffering. My son deserves a father, and I deserve a better life." One market day, a stranger arrived. His name was Izu. He came from a distant town nobody in Alanso ever heard of. Unlike ordinary visitors, Izu arrived with servants, expensive gifts, and enough wealth to make the entire village talk for weeks. He paid people's debts, he donated food to widows, he settled disputes with generous gifts. To everyone in Alanso, he looked like the answer to every family's prayers. Within a month, he met Nenye and requested her hand in marriage. The young farmers who genuinely loved her never stood a chance. How could they compete with a man whose wealth seemed endless? Even Nenye's son became attached to him. Whenever Izu visited, he would lift Azunna onto his shoulders, buys him toys, and tells him stories. For the first time in years, Azunna laughed like a child who finally had a father. That alone melted Nenye's heart. Only Mama Uka, the oldest widow in Alanso, remained uneasy. "There is something about that man," she whispered. "His smile is too perfect, and his eyes hide a secret." Nobody listened, least of all Nenye. The wedding became the grandest celebration Alanso had witnessed in many years. What nobody knew was that Izu was already married. His wife, Ifunanya, lived many miles away in another town. She knew nothing about Nenye, and Nenye knew nothing about her. After the wedding, Izu built a beautiful house for Nenye and Azunna on the outskirts of Alanso. People admired the mansion. Women envied her. Children pointed at the compound whenever they passed. "Nenye has finally made it though," they would say. But the wealth they admired hid a terrible secret. Izu's riches did not come by chance. For years, he had lived under a dark covenant. The wealth he enjoyed came with a frightening condition. It had to be renewed. And when the time for renewal drew near, Izu refused to let harm come to Ifunanya, the wife he truly loved. Instead, he searched for someone far from home, someone who would never be connected to him, someone trusting enough to believe every promise he made. That someone was Nenye. 3 months later, Nenye almost believed she had finally escaped every bad chapter of her life. Her marriage was so peaceful, she lacked nothing. Her son, Azunna, had gone to spend a few days with his grandmother, Ugueze, leaving the house unusually quiet. Izu had suggested it, saying the boy deserved some time to rest and bond with his grandmother. Nenye did not question it. That morning, Izu was different. Calm, smiling, almost gentle in a way that made her heart soften. He dressed Nenye himself, choosing her wrapper and even adjusting her beads on her neck, like a man preparing a queen. "We are going out," he said simply. "Just the two of us. There is something I want to show you." Nenye smiled. She did not know that those words were the last calm words she would ever hear. They left the house without guards, without servants, without even informing anyone of their destination. The road Izu took was not one she recognized. It grew narrower the further they went, until the village noise faded completely and all that remained was the sound of dry leaves and distant birds. Nenye finally became uneasy. "Where are we going?" she asked quietly. Izu did not answer immediately. Instead, he looked at her, as though memorizing her face. Then he said something that made her chest tighten. "We have arrived." There was nothing to see, only an empty stretch of land surrounded by tall trees, far away from any path she knew. Nenye turned slowly. "Izu, what is happening?" He smiled again, but this time it did not reach his eyes. Before she could step back, she noticed them. Two hefty men, standing quietly between the trees as though they had been waiting. No greetings were exchanged, no explanations were given. The air itself felt heavy, like the world had slowed down to listen. Nenye's voice broke. "Izu, what is this?" For the first time since she met him, his voice changed. Cold, final. "You were my peace for a season, Nenye." She froze. He continued slowly. "But every peace has a price where I come from." Her breath caught. That was when she understood that this was not a journey. It was an ending. A good name is better than riches. Ugeze's words are playing like a distant echo now. But is it too late for Nenye? This story is far from over, but I want to hear from you first. What do you think happens next? Does the innocent laughter of little Azunna break the covenant? Or has Nenye run out of time? Share your thoughts below. Make sure to follow, turn on your notifications, and stay tuned for part 2.